was up bright and early.
Good morning, everybody, from Summer Landing. This is probably going to be the place where we'll be 75% of the day. It's early morning. They're just opening up the pool now. And it's just, yes, we got our coffee. Just in the mood to relax outside today. The temperature is perfect. So
Yeah, last sea days, we're going to enjoy it. But Roof for St. Jude today, we want to do that. And we have the brewery tour later, so.
Yep. So,
yeah, fun afternoon.
Yeah. Chill morning, fun afternoon. Alright, we'll catch up with you guys later, and we'll see what we get into. Alright guys, it's breakfast time. We're taking it easy and taking a nice continental breakfast, so here is mine. Nothing like breakfast by the sea.
May I have your attention, please? We would be grateful for your help with an urgent medical issues. We have passengers that may require a blood transfusion, and we'll be looking for voluntary to donate blood. Currently, we are only looking for blood donors with the following criteria. Your blood group is B negative. I repeat, it must be B negative. You have your blood donor card with you. You are willing and feeling well enough to donate blood. If you meet these criteria, please collect your donor card and go to piano bar, deck 6 forward. As a reminder, this stage we are looking for donors with type B negative blood type donors with their donor card. Once again, currently, we are looking for blood donors with the following criteria. Your blood group is B negative. You have your blood donor card with you. You are willing and feeling well enough to donate blood. If you meet these criteria, please collect your donor card and go to piano bar, deck 6 forward. As a reminder, this stage we are looking for donors with the type B negative blood type donors with their donor card. B negative. Thank you for your attention.
Alright guys, that was the captain just on, I guess there's some type of medical situation and they're looking for blood donors, somebody with type B negative blood. So, life still happens on a cruise, you got to remember that, you know, anything can happen, but hopefully the person's okay and they find somebody to donate. But I guess if you're a blood donor and you would be willing to help, bring your card with you. Never thought of something like that, but I guess very important. So we'll just pray everything turns out okay and enjoy the rest of our sea day.
After Summer Landing, we headed on over to Bolt to watch Bill and Lucy experience Bolt for the first time.
Alright guys, we got done most of our morning there in Summer Landing, but our friends Lucy and Bill from MGM Family Travel just did Bolt, so tried to get a couple shots for them, but let's get the live reaction. Let's see what they thought. All right, guys, first reaction. What's your thoughts?
It was fast.
I love it.
Yeah.
A lot faster than I thought it was going to be. We had a blast. We would definitely do it again.
Oh my God.
Well worth the $15.
Yeah. This week went by too quick.
It did.
It really did.
But we still have a whole afternoon and night, so
Yes.
gonna make the most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell by the shirts, it's
Brew for St. Jude time.
yeah. Love what Carnival does for Brew for St. Jude Children's Hospital.
Mhm.
And, you know, the money they raise every cruise.
Every dime goes towards St. Jude's Hospital.
So we're gonna go check the Brew for St. Jude party out and see what the afternoon leads, guys. Let's
Yeah.
go have some fun.
Yeah. Then after Brew for St. Jude, we went over to the Spectrum Theater to watch Q and Awesome with Lee.
For those of you that I may not have met yet, because this is a huge, huge ship, and I'm just a tiny little Englishman, let me say, first of all, hello. My name is Lee. I've been that little disembodied voice from the hallway, and this is the body that goes with that voice. Now, once I set my sight on a goal, I'm very all in. So I wanted to be promoted. I wanted to do that job. So I applied to Carnival. The timeline just so happened to be that it took about 6 months for Carnival to get back to me because there wasn't any openings at the time. And I'd been promoted with my first company. And they're like, congratulations, you're promoted. And then about 2 months later, Carnival got in touch and said, hi, come to Miami, we'd like to interview you. Carnival's such a huge company, and the promise of these like fancy pants ships and sailing all around the world, I couldn't say no, so I flew out to Miami, and I had an intense day of interviews, and I got the job in 2016, October 2016. I joined Carnival Cruise Line on the Carnival Valor. So far, this is ship number 12. I had the honor and privilege of delivering this ship from the shipyard as the inaugural cruise director, which is a privilege in itself. And have come back for a second contract as the cruise director on the flagship vessel, which is a real honor. And as a little, not so humble brag, but a claim to fame, last year I won Best Cruise Director 2022 for the entire industry. Which I'd like to share with you all, but our captain reminds everybody that that was last year's award, so I'm not Best Cruise Director in the industry anymore. But it's been an incredible career, a wonderful life, and I've been working at sea now for around just over 9 years. So now you know me and you know my background and my journey. Funniest, because most of those are at my expense. So let me go down the list, and you can decide which was the funniest. I was working on the Carnival Breeze. I decided we were hosting a booty shaking competition. We don't do that anymore. Maybe this is why. I was in the nightclub, it was adults only, and I dropped it like it was hot. I dropped it like it was hot, and evidently it was scorching, because I split my trousers from the waistband to the zipper. And if any of you have been on the Breeze or a Dream Class ship, you know that the nightclub is in the back of the ship, and the cruise director's cabin is in the front of the ship, and I had to walk the length of the ship with air conditioning. If that wasn't bad, I was dancing on the bar of the Carnival Splendor, hosting a party, and do you know when the Hulk turns green and gets all muscly and rips out of his clothes? I didn't turn green and I don't have muscles, but I managed to rip clean out of a dress shirt, a button down, right down the back, dancing the YMCA. And last but by no means least, a life lesson that I'd love to share with anyone is never try to stifle or hold in a sneeze. Because because I was working on the Carnival Dream, and I was in the theatre talking to guests before the show to play this production. Just, you know, walking around, hi, how you doing, nice day. And I was in front of a group of people like yourselves here, and I felt a sneeze coming, and hospitality would suggest that you don't sneeze on your guests. So I tried to do the right thing. So I turned and I went, so I hold it in, and I held it in, but that sneeze was so powerful it backed up. And in front of a beautiful group of guests like yourselves, that sneeze went rushing out of the back door and made considerable noise upon his exit. He slammed the door, if you will, several times. Now, hospitality again would suggest that in the event that you are flatulent in front of your guests, you would apologize. But me being struck with panic, all I could do was look at the guests in the eye and I said, did you hear that? And every head in the vicinity, all in sync went. And at which point I should have apologized, but instead I just... And in spending a week with me, you can probably guess that it's very rare that I'm lost for words, right? I stood and I went... And people talk about those moments where you want the floor to swallow you. And that has been one of the very few times in my life where I wish the floor could have swallowed me. I think we've decided that was probably the funniest things for that. Yeah. Don't hold in a sneeze. If I can teach you anything this cruise, don't hold in a sneeze. And that was before sneezing was controversial. Yeah.
Alright guys, it was a fun Q&A with Lee. We just spent a little more time out of the summer landing and pool, but it's almost 3 o'clock and you know what that means.
Beer 30-ish.
Beer 30. We're actually going to do the brewery tour here on Celebration, so come along, we'll show you what it's all about. Let's learn about beer, try some beer.
You know it's our thing.
You know, you got to stay hydrated, so let's go see what this brewery tour is all about.
Picking at your Smokehouse Brewhouse. I am your brewmaster, Rob. I don't usually do the whole brewmaster thing though. That sounds like a guy that's got his stuff together. I'm just a dude that makes beer. But how many of you guys have done brewery tours on land? You remember? So do you remember maybe most of that tour was they like take you in the back and they show you all their neato stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what, Home Slice? There it is. Thanks for coming. Been a pleasure. Now, obviously, my tour has to be structured very differently than other breweries. And part of the reason for that is that I work in a fishbowl. And there's a very good reason that we designed this way. And I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that later. But for now, what I want you to know is we're going to talk about raw materials, how we make beer, how we put those raw materials together. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about like Carnival history and how we got involved in making beer. But the most important thing is we're going to drink beer the whole time. Does that sound okay to you? Yay! All right, let's go outside and drink beer. I'm going to feed you all the beer you want to drink. Yay! You also get to stare at me for the next hour. Yay! And I'm also going to give you some souvenirs at the end. Sound okay? Yes. All minds free and clear? Yes. Awesome, let's get started. My name is Robert Lee Carter II. Yes, I'm aware that is a very southern name. I come from a very small town in North Florida called Keystone Heights. And there is nothing in Keystone Heights but meth heads and trailer parks. It's one of those little one-stop light towns. If you blink, if you miss it, and if I were you, just blink. Like, you know one of those 4 raw materials? Water. So the unsung hero in all beverage is water. And when I say unsung hero, what I'm saying is that it's obviously pretty hard to get liquid unless you put water in it. Yes or no? Yes. Say yes, please. Yeah. Good job. I'm very proud of you all. All right, so what's really important to me, though, is the minerals that are broken down into the water. So I'm talking about like calcium sulfate, calcium chloride, magnesium, zinc. What these minerals do is they help us hold on to something called mouthfeel. Do you guys know what mouthfeel is? It's the way it feels in your mouth. We don't get real creative when we name stuff in beer. If it's the way it feels in your mouth, we call it mouthfeel. By the way, cheers, Nostrovia, Prost, Ching Ching, Salute.
Thank you.
So you all are drinking fungus juice right now. If that makes you uncomfortable, again, buckle up. This is going to get weirder than that. We're going down the rabbit hole, Bubba. But so the yeast that I'm using is very important to the character of that beer. Have you ever had a sour beer?
Yes.
You ever had a Hefeweizen?
Yes.
You ever had a porter?
Yes.
Those are all fermented using different strains of yeast. And that different strain of yeast is what contributes very heavily to the final character of that beer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so listen, I've got 3 public service announcements. First, this is a drinking tour, right?
Yeah.
You guys probably been drinking all day?
No. Not yet.
What are you doing with your life? Come on, man. You're on vacation.
Not yet.
So if you guys need to use the restroom, there is that restroom. It hasn't moved yet. We will meet you guys by the Big Pig. I'll give you a second to stop by the potty break. Sound good?
Yes.
Awesome. Second thing is this is a drinking tour. If you want to bring a beer with you, I'm perfectly fine with that. You're not going to hurt any of the beer inside by bringing beer inside. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Third thing, this is the most important one. This is actually a real active brewery. We do actually make beer. There may be some hoses laying around. There might be some water on the floor. You guys, again, have been drinking. Please just mind your step. If it comes between you holding onto a fermenter and falling over, what would I rather you do?
Fall over.
Hallelujah. No, all the tanks are bolted to the floor and they're sealed. You're not going to hurt anything. So if you need to balance yourself on a tank, I'm perfectly fine with that. Sound good?
Very good.
All right, let's go. Now, there's a couple of very unique things about this particular brew house, other than the fact that it's on a cruise ship. There's one very obvious thing that makes this very unique. Can you guess maybe what it is?
The glass tanks.
There you go. It's made out of glass. There's only about 7 in the world that are made out of glass. They're custom made for us by a company in Munich, Germany called Albrecht Brewtechnik. And there's absolutely no good reason for it to be made out of glass. Every brewery in the world, almost, is made out of what?
Stainless steel.
Stainless steel. Because stainless steel is a lot more cost effective than this very thick tempered glass. But very thick tempered glass is really cool. And Carnival likes cool stuff. So we bought a cool brewery to put on our cool cruise ship so that people would say, wow, that's
Cool.
good job. That is it's not the Pretorius. Watch your step, watch your step. Mind your footing, mind your footing. So, this is what we call the cellar. Now, just like with the brew house, we don't call this the cellar because it's in a cellar. But again, historically speaking, the temperature control during fermentation is really, really very important. And the only way those guys back in the day had to control the temperature was to put it in the earth, the cellar, and so they called it the cellar. And we're lazy and we don't like to change what we call stuff, so we just keep calling it the cellar. Now, some people do call this the fermentation hall. And what you're looking at here in front of you, we refer to these as conical fermenters. Now, we call them conicals because they have, and inside is fermentation. See, there's that creativity again. We're getting real creative when we name stuff here. So these conical fermenters, what's happening is the sugar water that I produce outside is going to be put into one of these fermenters. It's going to come in this side. There's a filter in here. It's going to go through the heat exchanger where I cool down the work. And then it's going to come out this side really cold, come out this pipe, and I'm going to hook up one of these hoses to one of these tanks, and I direct it into whichever tank I want it to go. Once that sugar water gets into the tank, I'm then going to put the yeast in the tank. The yeast is going to start consuming the sugar. And when they start to eat, the yeast get excited the same way that all of you guys get excited when y'all go to steakhouse, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had the meat sweats?
Yes.
Just like with people, if I let these guys just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and go and go and go and go, they will give themselves the meat sweats and they get angry when they do that. They start producing off flavors. We call them off flavors because they're off. So I take the sugar water and I feed it to yeast. Yes?
Yes.
The yeast then create alcohol and CO2. Yes?
Yes.
Cool. So every living organism on the face of this beautiful blue ball is trying to accomplish one thing. What is that one thing?
Stay alive.
Kind of. You want to reproduce. You want to ensure the survival of our species by reproduction. Yes? In order to reproduce, you need a couple of things. And I'm not talking about physically, but you need to produce energy so that you can reproduce. Yes?
Yes.
We all produce energy by consuming food. Yes?
Yes.
You all have byproducts by consuming food.
Yes.
Yes.
This is yeast poo poo caca pee pee. I know that's a little strange, but all alcohol Do you guys remember high school science? Anybody remember it?
Yeah.
Do I have any chemists here, biologists, anything like that? Do you remember the periodic table of elements? Is alcohol on that?
No.
No, it is not a naturally occurring substance in this world. So all alcohol has to be produced. And the way we produce that is we ferment sugar using a microorganism. The metabolic process of that consumption results in alcohol and CO2. All alcohol you guys consume is yeast poop caca pee pee. Now, here's the reason I want to tell you that in that very strange manner. Do you like hanging out in your byproduct?
No.
Please say no. Everybody, please.
There was way too much silence there.
Yeah. Nobody likes to hang out in their septic tank, right? So the yeast don't like to hang out in their byproduct either. So by asking the yeast to stay in what comes out of them, they get angry with me. And I told you, if they get angry, they produce off flavors. And off flavors are off because they're nasty. Yes or no?
Yes.
So, have you ever noticed that porters and stouts tend to be higher in alcohol?
Yes.
IPAs tend to be
Lower.
higher in alcohol.
Yep.
Lagers,
Lower.
Pilsners,
Lower.
Kolsch's.
Lower.
There's not a lot of flavor in a lager that I can hide off flavors behind. But I can hide off flavors behind hops. I can hide off flavors behind chocolate, barley, barrel-aged, bourbon, all that kind of jazz. This is why you're going to see a 13% barrel-aged stout, but you're never going to see a 13% barrel-aged lager, because if you do, it will taste like Bupo Kakapipi. Got it?
Got it.
Cool. So, branding different bars with different cocktails. Yay!
Yay!
Full of beer.
Woo!
So this guys is our smoked porter. This is our award-winning beer on the ship. In 2019, it took the U.S. Open Beer Championship for the smoked porter category. So not only are we making beer at sea, but we're making award-winning beer at sea. We were pretty proud of it because it's like we won the U.S. Open Beer Championship. Where are we right now? I'm not even in the U.S. and I beat them. One of these days, I'm going to put a brewery on a spaceship. That way I can make like the best beer in the world. Wow. So about 10 years ago, we also decided to pilot the idea that maybe Carnival guests wanted to drink Carnival branded beer. You guys remember the Thirsty Frog Red?
Yes.
Did I make that beer?
No.
No. That was a licensing agreement with Anheuser-Busch because we didn't want to build a brewery and then figure out people wouldn't drink the beer. So we went to Anheuser-Busch and we said, hey, we'll pay you to put our label on your beer and we'll see if people will drink beer that's labeled Carnival. And guess what? People did. And so then in 2016, we built the first cruise ship in the North American fleet of commercial cruise lines that had a brewery on board. That brewery is not in Guy's Pig and Anchor Smokehouse Brewhouse. It is in the Thirsty Frog Pub. I'm pointing at this guy's hat because he's wearing one. Well, wearing the branded hat.
Yeah.
Not just a hat. Anyway, so we put that brewery in the Thirsty Frog Pub. Now, the Thirsty Frog Pub has completely different beer options than we do here. They have the Thirsty Frog Red, the Caribbean Wheat, the Port Hoppin' IPA, the Java Stout, and to answer your question earlier, they have a seasonal tap, which is dealer's choice. Whatever I feel like making, I make on that seasonal tap. As long as those menu beers are made, I can make whatever I want for the other taps. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So people then ended up drinking lots of Carnival branded beer. So we opened another ship in 2018 with a brewery on board. That was the Carnival Horizon.
Yep.
This time we got in touch with Guy Fieri. We did the beer, bourbon, and barbecue. We put it in this sexy patina vintage thing. We hired another bearded guy. He made new beers to match the new menu at the new restaurant. So we did Toasted Amber Ale, originally Farmhouse Ale, which is now Beach Lager. We did West Coast IPA and Smoked Porter, which pairs very well with the smoked barbecue at the smoked barbecue restaurant. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, now we're in 2019. We're coming into what, well, of course at the time we didn't know it was going to be a pandemic, but we're coming into that season. And we said, maybe the entire fleet of Carnival ships wants to have Carnival branded beer on board. Do you guys think I can make enough beer to feed the whole fleet of ships?
Nope.
So what do you think they did?
Called Brew Hub.
Hey. They called Brewhouse. That's how I got it. I wasn't working for Carnival. I was working with Carnival at Brewhouse, making our production capacity beer. One day, at the time, our VP of beverage was a guy named Eddie Allen. I was working very closely with our original brewer called Colin Bresby. Those two guys, they said, "Hey, Rob, would you please?" My ADHD is killing me with that. But so they said, "Hey man, will you come make beer for us?" I said, "Well, how much are you guys gonna pay us?" Hello. So now I work for Carnival. I work directly for Carnival. We still have that partnership with Brewhouse. Now that's why if you guys get a can of beer, it says brewed in Lakeland, Florida by Carnival Cruise Line, because those production capacity beers, Thirsty Frog, Caribbean Wheat, the West Coast IPA, the Toasted Amber Ale, those are brewed and packaged in Lakeland, Florida, and then shipped fleet-wide. All the beers that you guys get right here, I make it right here. But if you go down to the Aquafina bar, or whatever it's called down there in Central Stage, and you get a Toasted Amber Ale from Draft, that was most likely made in Lakeland, Florida by our partnership. That's also why if you get a Toasted Amber Ale from there, it's not going to be a little bit cloudy like that, because I told you, these tanks are hooked directly to those drafts. And so we're picking up some of the yeast. At Brewhouse, they have a centrifuge, and they spin out all the yeast, so it doesn't come to us yeasty. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Questions, comments, concerns?
Nope.
Now we have 5 ships with breweries on board. We have the Vista, the Horizon, the Panorama, the Mardi Gras, the Celebration. The next ship is going to be
Jubilee.
And what's going to be on Jubilee? Hello.
Pig and Anchor.
Pig and Anchor. That's because this concept
And Rob.
is working out well for us. You know, we guests like drinking the beer. They like drinking the beer that was made on board the ship. It just pairs well with the whole kind of concept. So we're going to keep doing this for the foreseeable future. Any questions? Oh, the panorama. Is this souvenir glass? Yay! Now listen here,
I
folks.
have one.
I've got 2 things to tell you about this glass. First off, you're all traveling, and I'm very confident in saying that because you're not wearing a name tag. Got it?
Yep.
If you put these 2 together and then put them in your suitcase, they're either going to crack in transit, or they're going to crack or get stuck together and crack when you get home. Okay. I don't want that to happen to you. So if you'll just put like a sock around the bottom of one side, maybe put a pair of breeches in the other side, and then put them together, then they'll travel nicely and everybody's happy. Make sense?
Yes.
The second thing I want to make sure you're all aware of is, where's my hand?
Inside.
Where was it earlier?
Outside. I'm being nice.
I did watch these at some point in the course of human history, but I just want to let you guys know I don't know what's happened between the washing machine and here. So if you get a tum-tum ache, that's on you. I just told you not to do it. Sound good?
Yeah.
I'm still wearing the glass. I don't know why. Like Captain Hook here.
All right, back in the room. Get off our ship heart. I don't like this hell animal. But we're also starting to pack here. But I want to touch base with the brewery tour. Don't mind the messy hair, but it was really good. Robbie was excellent. We've done brewery tours in the past, and this was fun. But at the end, of course, drinking all the wonderful beers, we all got a souvenir glass added to our collection. And not only that, get a coupon for a free beer. So we'll probably have that later on tonight. But we're just getting cleaned up. I'm partially cleaned up. We're gonna have Cucina del Capitano tonight for dinner. Have a bunch of the gang with us, and then we'll see where the night takes us. But for right now, I gotta get ready. So catch you guys later.
All right, guys, back to the room, ready for dinner.
Yes.
Brewery tour was fun.
Yep.
Recommended.
Yes. Very much so.
Yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of information, and a lot of beer. So we just came back to the cabin, got 75% of our stuff packed, but we're gonna go for one last dinner and enjoy the last night on the ship. So
yeah,
let's go to dinner.
Go enjoy dinner with good company.
good. All right, thank you so much. Yeah. I don't think we've talked to you guys since dinner, but we kind of we're sitting in Summer Landing all night with pretty much everybody at some point or another, and just reminiscing on what a great week it's been. It's, I don't know, about 11:30 now.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Another late night, but we just kind of sitting back there and
yes, just enjoying.
Yeah.
Basically, we were
great
enjoying.
company, great new friends. Been a great week.
Yes. So sad it's over.
Yeah, but
That means I'll have to cruise with them again.
this is true.
Yeah, that's all.
And a couple of them we'll see in a few weeks.
Yes.
And a few of them we'll see tomorrow.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
But that's it, guys. Thanks for following along.
Yeah, we actually have a airport transfer through Carnival because it's going to be a crazy day tomorrow in the city.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be May 7th. The Formula One race is here in Miami, plus 7 ships in port. I think transportation is going to be a little crazy. So we booked an excursion through the cruise line because our flight out of Fort Lauderdale isn't until like 4:30. So we're going to do I think it's a Port Everglades adventure. It's like an airboat thing in the morning, and with airport transportation. So we have to be in the main theater at 7:30 for our excursion.
We have to get up early.
And then we're still supposed to be at the airport around noon. So, but just be a good way to kill a few hours and got nothing else to do. So.
Yeah, so we'll check in with you guys tomorrow with that vlog and see where the day goes.
Yeah.
Well, if all things go well, you might see some other friends in the vlog too. So if all goes according to plan. So
yeah, you'll have to check back tomorrow and see who that is or what happens. But hope you guys enjoyed the celebration vlogs as much as we enjoyed the celebration. This is a great ship. You guys want to book it, get on it. Feel free to contact us. Brandy can get you booked. All our information will be below. But
it's free. Doesn't hurt to ask. So
well, the cruise isn't free, but
no, the quote's free.
The quote and
the
and the help and getting you booked and any advice you need. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for following along, and we'll see you in the morning.
All right. We'll see you on the next excursion.